Take 3. Recently, I got the opportunity to be director's personal assistant on a movie starring Liam Neeson and Zachary Levi. And let me tell you, it was crazy. What was really crazy is that it was filmed, half of it anyway, right here in Mississippi, not 30 minutes away from my family's house. I got to stay there, got to help on this movie, got to make great connections. And I wanted to make this video to kind of tell you what it was like for me to be director's personal assistant on this big movie. If you didn't see my last video, that is the video I took right after finding out I got this job. Definitely go watch that, and then you can come back here or watch it afterwards. But we're gonna get right into it, starting at day 1. So it all started on August 26th when the phone calls were made. And before I knew it, I was told the sooner you can get here, the better. I had to pack up my whole life in Georgia. I mean, everything I had built there over the last, 6, 7, 8 months, I had to pack it up. It took me about 5 minutes, and I got on the road, headed back to Mississippi. So the 26th was a Monday, the 27th was a Tuesday. I needed to be back on the 27th. I needed to be back to start the work. And what was the work? I didn't know. I'll tell you, all I knew was that I might be helping Guy, the director, schedule Zoom calls. I would be scheduling his day, trying to help him stay organized, just someone to help him with random things. That's really all I knew. So going into it, I was definitely a little nervous. I was excited, but I was ready. I was ready to get out of Georgia, honestly. I got back to Mississippi around 8 o'clock in the morning, and they told me, come to the production office around 11 and get started. So I waited around anxiously. I think I played some disc golf with the boys. And then I went to the production office. I had looked up a picture of Guy before, so that when I pulled up, I could spot him out. He was in the parking lot talking with who I later learned were the producers. About 3 producers were outside talking with him, I think. So I went up and I said hi to them. They said I could head inside. So I went inside, and no one seemed to know who I was, which was kind of... I'm Guy's assistant. I got in there, and there's a table with some production assistants doing work on the computers. And first person I talked to was a lovely lady named Wendy. She was one of the producers. Throughout the whole shoot, she helped me out a lot, especially in the beginning. I didn't know anything. I had never been in production. I had never been an assistant of any kind. So I needed someone to tell me what the heck I'm gonna be doing. So she kind of sat me down and helped me understand a little bit of the flow of the different departments and how they worked and how they communicated. Well, they had a schedule for the 2 weeks of production, because I got there 2 weeks before filming started, 2 weeks of pre-production that I was a part of, and then we started filming. So Wendy told me they have a schedule, but Guy doesn't need to know everything on the schedule. He just needs to know the things that he that he's involved in, the meetings he needs to make or the meetings he needs to be in. So that was my job, to figure out what Guy needed to do, when he needed to do it, just kind of keep him informed. He doesn't have to think about, oh, when's my next meeting? Who do I need to meet with next? That's this guy. But sometimes we needed to schedule another meeting. For instance, Dave Castillo, the stunt guy, and Zachary Levi's stunt double was arriving on, I don't remember, it was Thursday. And Guy needed to have a sit-down meeting with Dave. So I talked to Guy, said, hey, we need to have a meeting with Dave. Does 10 o'clock work for that? Yes. Okay, perfect. There we go. Have a meeting for Dave, 10 o'clock Thursday. So then Wendy introduced me to the whole production office. We went around. There was the producer's office, there was accounting, there was art department, there was the assistant director's room. Wendy introduced me to Brian, the first assistant director. So I am the director's assistant, and he's the assistant director. 2 completely different things. Brian was super cool, super fun guy, super funny guy. He helped me out a lot with just figuring out what I should be thinking about and what I should be doing. He said my goal was to make Guy's life easier, to try and get inside his head, understand his thought process, and then also little things like knowing what food he likes. I'd bring him his breakfast, or his coffee, or a soda or something. So I learned what he liked, and Guy likes Cobb salads, he likes grilled chicken salads, he likes Caesar salads, he likes Coke Zero, he likes coffee black, He likes cashews. He doesn't like anything spicy. And the list goes on. Just little stuff like that Brian helped me to, you know, pay attention to. I would go to him a lot with questions as far as what Guy needed to do or things on the schedule that were important for Guy to do, just different stuff. And he would come to me and ask questions about like what if Guy had a spot on the schedule for this or whatever. So that was really cool. But yeah, that first day really was just meeting people. Guy was super busy in these early weeks because he is a director, obviously. He's the writer and he's a producer. So he had a lot of hats to wear, a lot of people pulling at him. I didn't like to see him pulled like that. I just wanted to punch the people who were pulling him. We got to talk just one-on-one for a while in his office. He kind of just gave me a rundown of different things that maybe I could help with. And the first thing he wanted me to do was read the script. So that's what I worked on. I'm a slow reader, so it took me a little while, but then he wanted me to find some reference photos for a photo shoot we had to do. Obviously, I don't want to talk much about the movie. You know, I don't want to spoil anything or whatever, but oh, I do remember the first thing I did that kind of made me feel like, oh, I'm actually helping get decisions made. was kind of cool. So Chris from art department came to me and said, hey, I got these photos of different backpacks. And he said, hey, could you take this to Guy? Tell him to check mark the ones he likes for this certain scene. So I said, well, you've come to the right person. I am in fact his assistant. So yeah, I can do that. You give me the papers. So I said, hey Guy, it's art department. They got their hands down our throats again. They want you to check some backpacks, whatever. He checked marked the backpacks you want. I took them to Chris. I said, there you go, Chris. And boom, we had decisions on backpacks. One thing we didn't have to worry about anymore was the backpack selection, which was a huge weight off everyone's shoulders. Literally, because, you know, literally, because backpacks, they sit on your shoulder. Man, wow. I really helped a lot with that decision. That was the kind of stuff I did for Guy most of the time. But then I ended up doing almost as much work or maybe more work for the producers. And that, I think, even started day one or maybe day two. I remember I was leaving and Justin, one of the producers, told me, hey man, we need to be talking about computers and the drives and the Avid editing system. We just need to have a conversation about that stuff. And I was like, what? No, I'm director's personal assistant. I don't deal with computers and hard drives. What are you talking about? He said, well, no, you'll do whatever I want you to. Oh, okay. Guy, the producers are bullying me. Okay, sure. That's the mindset I was trying to have with the whole thing. I'm here and I'm willing. Maybe I'm able. I don't know. We'll see. I won't know if I don't try. Oh, hey. I had a cup of Joe up here the whole time. So, in the coming days, I ended up doing a lot of research on the computers we wanted to buy for editing. I didn't think I would be doing that, but then again, I didn't know what exactly I would be doing. So it was new for me. It felt like, man, I mean, shouldn't someone else do this? Like me? I don't know. I'll do my best. And that's what I told him. I was very honest. I didn't want him to think that, oh, I'm this super tech savvy guy who knows exactly what computers will need. And I didn't want to, you know, falsely advertise myself and then people thinking I knew more than I did for the rest of the shoot. That's not what I want at all. So I told him, I said, hey, I can absolutely try and help with this. But just so you know, this isn't necessarily my field. I've done a lot of editing before, but sorry, I had to close these blinds. I know you saw it, but... And they were very nice. Remember, they told me, hey, it's totally fine. We know we're not going to throw you under the bus. You know, we can help you with this, but we just want you to start to try and do some research on what we might need. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try. Stuff like that stressed me out a little bit. There was definitely many times throughout the shoot and pre-production that I was kind of stressed out, because I was doing so many things I'd never done before, and I wanted to do a good job, and I wanted to be worth the money they were paying me and just be a valuable team player. I'm definitely a bit of a people pleaser, so I wanted everyone to be pleased. I didn't want to let anyone down, you know? Also, I always want to say everyone on the shoot was very encouraging. Guy told me multiple times that I was being very helpful. The producers mentioned I was helping out a lot. I was doing good work. They were very encouraging, and that went a long way for me because I need to hear that stuff. But all to say, I did do the research on the computers. I figured out what we needed. We ended up buying Mac Studios and I forget the laptop, but another MacBook Pro, like the best one, you know. I figured out what hard drives we would need from the DIT, which stands for Digital Imaging Technician, I think. Look it up. They're the ones on set that deal with all the footage, a lot of encoding, a lot of other stuff that I don't really know. Do I have enough light on me now? For instance, when Daniel, the editor, arrived, he is Israeli. He's a super fun guy. I had just the most fun working with Daniel. I wasn't assistant editor, but I was assistant to the editor. We spent a ton of time together. We went to Best Buy and bought a lot of editing equipment, speakers, monitors, audio interfaces, cords, dongles, little shuttle drives for the footage. We would go into Best Buy and I would have the card for, you know, buying stuff. And the way I've grown up, I try to buy the best thing, but for the lowest price kind of thing. We're going in there and looking for the stuff, and we're looking at the different monitors, and I find some, I'm like, oh, well, these are good, but that's probably, I don't know, that's $400. I don't know if we can get that. And Daniel's like, so buy it. Whatever. What? Buy it. That's a spot on impersonation, by the way. But that one, I mean, we might be able to find it cheaper. He's like, okay, but why? Why? We have money. I need to edit. I need a monitor. We need to buy it. So buy it. I had a blast with Daniel. One of the ways I worked with him is I would bring him the footage from that day every single night. He would have his editing set up in the hotel, and I'd be on set. When we finished the day, I would get Kevin, our DIT, I would have him put the daily footage onto a little shuttle drive. And I would take that drive back to Daniel. Daniel would put it on his hard drive so he could edit the next day. In the same vein as editing, I also got to help out the visual effects supervisor. His name is Dada. He was from Romania, and boy, he was a lot of fun as well. The guy had a great sense of humor. We got along very well. I helped him with a couple things. There was several scenes that involved a lot of screens. Some of them need to be changed to blue screen, or we ended up using more gray screen. And so I helped him with that. We take the little USB drive out. I would put it on my computer, go to iPicky and get like a gray page that would fit the screen. Then I would, you know, export that, put it on the little thumb drive he gave me. I'd give it back to him, and he put it in the TV, and there would be the gray screen, and we could flip through gray and green or whatever we needed. That was fun. Just got to help a little bit with visual effects or special effects. No, visual effects. Oh, well, this is a cool thing I got to at least sit in for. You know, we were still casting people as in the first 2 weeks of production, and actually even into the weeks of shooting. There was a couple times I helped out with scheduling a casting meeting for Guy, or scheduled him looking over auditions. So I got to sit in on the director picking actors, going through their auditions, which was really cool as an aspiring actor who has sent in a lot of audition tapes, to see the other side and how kind of not big or grand it is. Basically, if you didn't like what you saw in the first second or two, he'd go to the next one. That's just how it goes. He kept apologizing. He's like, I'm sorry if, you know, I just gotta get through these. He's like, I know exactly what I want, and if I don't see it, I'm not gonna waste my time watching the whole audition. And absolutely, even helped me a little bit with my like future audition tapes. You know, you gotta do something different. You gotta catch their attention quickly. And then you get to see the actor and actress come on set later in the shoot. Be like, man, I was there when I saw their audition tapes. That's so neat. Another thing I got to do was send out the dailies. The daily footage to be sent out to people like the producers or the department heads so they can see it, so they can review it. I'm not sure all the reasons for the dailies. I'm sure there's plenty of them, but heck, I'm still learning. So yeah, I set up our Frame.io account where we would upload the dailies to. Kevin, our DIT, would upload the dailies. And then I, each night, would take all the days we filmed. They were just into little folders. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. I got a distro list of all the people who needed the dailies. There was probably about 10 or 15 emails, and I just sent that out every night. That was one of my jobs, which was cool. Now listen, I know a lot of you are probably wondering about Liam Neeson and Zachary Levi. What were they like? And let me tell you, if you've seen Shazam, you've kind of met Zachary Levi, because he's really just a fun guy to be around. And you know, he and I really just had a camaraderie because we are both named Zach. And it's hard to explain to people who aren't named Zach just the kind of bond we had automatically. For instance, simple thing, I was walking to one of the bathroom trailers and he stepped out of his trailer shirtless. He saw me, he said, "Sup, Zach?" And I said, "Sup, Zach?" And then we just went our separate ways. You know, stuff like that would just happen. Just little bonding moments. You probably won't ever understand unless your name's Zach. So don't try. No, but all jokes aside, he really was a cool dude. Really easy to talk to, very, very friendly. And I really enjoyed getting to know him a little bit. Sadly, I did not get to talk to Liam Neeson. I got to take a picture with him. I got to shake his hand. I got to say a couple words when I did that. But from what I saw, super nice guy. Super nice, really funny. He had an assistant there too. Her name is Christine. I got to meet Christine, talk with her a good bit. She's really fun. What was weird for me was I've actually seen both her and Liam Neeson on the set of the Naked Gun reboot while I was in Georgia. I got to be an extra on that movie for 8 days. So I got to see them, you know, as an extra though. You know, I didn't talk to them. What was weirder, and I'll shut up soon, I know this is a long video. One of the scenes we were shooting required extras. And I remember in Georgia, I worked with a lot of extras. You start to see like a lot of the same people, you know, are extras on a lot of the same projects. And I remember this guy, he wore like a beret sort of hat, and he had this purple beard, he was bald. I remember seeing him several times in Georgia. And then lo and behold, we're on set and they bring in the extras, and this guy is one of the extras. And I overheard, you know, them saying like, "Yeah, I drove 6 hours for this and stuff." I'm like, my gosh. First of all, it's true. Extras are desperate for 2 seconds of screen time. I was one of them. But it was just so weird. It was a really full circle moment to see this guy who's an extra on this movie. And somehow I'm over here as director's assistant on this movie. But just months ago, we were both shoulder to shoulder extras on the Liam Neeson movie. I wasn't thinking to myself, "Oh, now I'm so much better." I'm like, wow, what a God thing to send me this opportunity, and now I can just look at him and laugh. No, I'm kidding. I'm not laughing at anyone. But I mean, extras are the scum of the earth. It's like herding cats. Extra, you're an extra. Get out of here. They're always moving around, and then like they always, you know, like, what are you doing? Who cares? Who cares about you? Get out. No, that's the joke. Anyway, guys, there's so much more I can't really think of off the top of my head. It was quite the experience. I'm so thankful for it. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to give y'all an update on me just real quick. I am in Mississippi still. I do not plan to move back to Georgia at this time. I feel like I need to be here. I feel like this whole opportunity was a godsend to bring me back to Mississippi, because even being back, doors have opened and opportunities have presented themselves. I'm excited for what's next. Sorry, this has been a probably long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscription. I will see you guys next time I pick up the camera.